Hey guys, Kristen Bruni is here. So today we're going to talk about overcoming objections. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you're not receiving objections, you're probably not talking to enough people or you're probably not posting enough. And I want you to consider objections to be a good thing. I often have my coaches do the Go for No challenge, which means I give them a chart with 100 boxes that say Go for No on it. And I run contests to say who can get no 100 times. Now, why would I do that? Why would I put a positive spin on the word no? Well, because when you're reaching out to people and going for no, what is inevitably going to happen? You're going to get a yes. All Beachbody coaches get objections. The difference between someone who's been in it for 3 years and someone who's been in it for 3 weeks is that we have developed ways to deal with objections. As a matter of fact, Beachbody has a document in the back office called How to Deal with Objections, and I highly recommend that you look it up. So there's 3 words that I often use when dealing with objections. I use feel, felt, and found. So I might say to someone, let's say I'm talking to someone and they're a little bit pessimistic about buying the programs of Shakeology. I might say, well, I felt very tired and I didn't like the way I looked. And now I found that I feel so much better, I have so much energy, blah, 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 blah. So you notice that I'm not hitting them with a bunch of facts, I'm hitting them with emotions. Because as we talked about in the previous video, facts tell, stories sell. So stories are attached to emotion. So use those emotional words. The other thing I also talked about in the old video was I like the phrase, I don't know, but. So if I'm talking to somebody and they say, oh, well, I don't really love the taste of Shakeology, I'll say, well, I don't know, but when I mix it with peanut butter, I think it tastes delicious. So you're not necessarily validating their objection. You're giving them a reason or a defense on the taste of Shakeology without really being like, well, how could you say that? Da, 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 da. So those are some things that have worked for me. Our number one objection is cost. So Beachbody programs are expensive. They're not Toyotas, they're BMWs. They're the best that you can get. So I don't get the cost objection as much anymore because I've made it clear to my customers that these are quality products. But when you do get the cost objection, make sure that you're making it clear to them the value of the product. Don't apologize for it. You might say something like, I totally understand, I know how it feels to have finances that are tight, or I'll be here whenever you're ready if you need to save up. So those are things that worked for me with cost, and also explaining to them that when they purchase a Beachbody program, you're not getting one DVD, you're getting like a season of The Sopranos. You're getting multiple DVDs, and it really is the whole package. One line that I would use when people would talk about cost is I would say, I know it's expensive, but all I know is that I feel better, my skin is clear, my stomach doesn't hurt, and I have more energy, and that's invaluable. So there's my emotional response with the all I know is, and then I give the reasons why I love the product. So I'm going to read you a list of things dealing with objections. So number 1, don't waste your energy supporting those who resist you. Just think next and move on. So there's going to be those customers that are never going to buy from you. Just move on. Don't dwell on them. Don't try to convince them. Simply move on. Number 2, work with people who show an interest and will keep your spirits up. There are people who I won't work with anymore. They are negative, they never post in the groups, they're inconsistent, they give Beachbody a bad name, and they're not welcome in my groups anymore. So work with people who keep your spirits up and are positive. If you have a customer who's constantly complaining why they haven't lost weight or they haven't whatever, don't work with those people because the only thing they're going to do is drag you down. Number 3, if you feel like quitting, call your upline for support. That's what we're here for. So I make Team Cycle bonuses off of your sales. Part of the reason that I earn those team cycle bonuses is because I put the majority of my time into training you. I get paid to do these calls and to do recordings and to answer your questions through those team cycle bonuses. It's my job to show you support. So if you are struggling, please reach out to me. Number 4, you alone control your attitude. If you're not reading personal development, you will not succeed in this business. When I started reading personal development and really started working on me, my business took off tenfold. Number 5, feeling like a failure usually comes from 2 things. Number 1, trying to interest people who have already made it obvious that it's not the right time in their lives. Like I said, move on. Say next. And number 2, trying to argue people into believing you're right. Wait 6 months and they'll come back. So your job is not to convince people that Shakeology is delicious. Your job is to say your stories and let the stories tell the value of Shakeology. And number 6, rejection isn't to be taken personally, but merely as an indication it's not the right time in their lives. It wasn't the right time for me to find Beachbody 5 years ago, but 4 years ago when I had a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old, I was ready. I needed to lose weight, I needed something in my life, and I needed a business that would fulfill me. So it was the right time in my life. But had Mary come to me before then, I wasn't ready. So you might run into people where they're not ready, and that's okay. So you're all going to hit objections, and I hope that these few tips help you deal with objections and to put a smile on your face and just say next. All right, have a good night. Thanks, guys. Bye.